I wanted to make this video to show a modification I made to the sole Bivvy sack here. This modification was made just so that I could have some extra room in my shoulders. I'm kind of a side sleeper, so needed a little bit more room than what they gave. I think out of the box this sole Bivvy comes at maybe 32 inches, 33 inches wide potentially. And I really expanded it to be more in line, probably about 39 inches, 30, 38, 39, somewhere in there. It just depends on where you measure it. But I've used this particular bivvy and this setup in temperatures down to about 20 degrees and was actually quite warm. The bivvy does exactly what it's supposed to do. It reflects your body heat in there, but I also use a couple different things, and I'll show you what those are real quick before I get into what the modification is. So the first thing you'll see is the bivvy itself, and this is just the standard bivvy, but with the modification. Inside of here is a U.S. military patrol bag. This is the lighter weight patrol bag, so it's really designed, they say down to 40 degrees by itself. I don't necessarily trust that that would be where you could even be comfortable at 40 degrees. I think that's more for a couple hours of sleep at the most. But it is wide, and it's 36 inches wide, which is the reason I like this particular bag. And then I have a C to Summit, I think it's a Thermalite material Extreme, which is a liner in here. This is actually pretty warm. I was surprised by how warm that actually made my bag. I will be making a modification of that as well. It is, I'll show you, this is basically, there is no zipper, there's no way to get in or out of this unless you slip it down your body, which I'm really not a fan of doing. I have probably take a seam out and put some Velcro in there, something like that to make this a little bit more usable. But in general, that keeps me pretty warm inside of the bivvy. Alright. And then, of course, I've got a Thermarest ridge rest pad that also fits inside of there. Again, I'm a side sleeper. I do twist a little bit at night, so I wanted something where I could keep my pad inside of here. And this, as you can see, definitely holds it. So basically what I did is I put a slit, cut a slit from the top here all the way down the bottom, all the way to the end, stopping about a foot short of the bottom, and so that way I had at least a foot box set for myself, and I'll show you that in just one second. Okay, so now I took the Thermarest pad out. You can kind of see better what I've done here. This is not the entire width. This is an overlapping of the cut. I think the cut is actually about this much here. But what I did is I cut it straight down. I widened the top part out, and it gradually went in down towards the bottom there. And this white piece is Tyvek, so it's a piece of Tyvek about 14 inches wide, and I used dual-sided carpeting tape to run a piece. You can see it's stuck on there really good. I'll probably break the material before that carpeting bonding breaks. So it really was very easy to do. Take some time. This obviously is not perfect. The one thing I did try and fail at was gluing. I thought I'd be kind of creative and put one of the like a emergency mylar covering for this, a blanket, and glue it onto here, but I didn't like the way the glue set. I didn't like the way it just kind of still crinkled, made that mylar sound. And this Tyvek has been, I've wrinkled this and it's pretty smooth and fairly quiet. So I like the way this actually turned out. It has given me a lot more room up in the shoulders, as you can see. And I'll flip this over here and you can see exactly kind of what was done. Sorry for the camera movement here. Okay. So what I did, as you can see, this is the edge originally. This is the edge that was next to it here. So these parts were together at one point. Made the cut, You see it kind of trails down more narrow, until I get to the end. I use some Gorilla Tape here to tape this off, and you know, this is not pretty. I mean, I admit this is not pretty. You can see this. I kind of screwed up on this section here, but you know, this is really not going anywhere. This is now applied. It's part of this bivy sack. One thing I also did is I ran this piece, is all one piece, ran it over and folded it over onto another piece of tape here, leaving kind of this open channel for the cord to slide through. So I can still cinch it down. It does not cinch as close as it did before, but it does cinch down. So really this has really done better than I expected, quite honestly. I definitely think that it has given me quite a bit more room. The one thing I've not figured out how to do, and I don't know if I'm going to mess with this or not, is to maybe extend this zipper down maybe another 12 inches or so to make getting in and out of this a little bit easier, because really this is quite short. But it's, you know, saves some weight, I guess. Anyway, I hope you like the modification. Like I said, I've used the sleep system down to about 20 degrees and been very warm. It's windproof, waterproof. As long as your head and mouth is out of the top, which, you know, I'm a tall guy, I'm about 6'3", so my head is always out of the top of this. You will not have any problems with condensation building up inside. I think what happens a lot of times, these get cinched down really tight and people tuck their head under there, and that condensation is what builds up sometimes. But this is a breathable fabric, and I've not had that issue yet. So hope you enjoyed this, and if you have any extra tips or suggestions for how I could have done this better, leave some comments below. Thanks a lot. Take care.